welcome back to another thrilling, invading episode of the Film Alchemist podcast, the show where we take the movies we love, break them apart, to find out what gives them their magic. Or is it science? Time will tell. I'm your host, Josh Griffey, joined as always by my friend, co-host, and supreme intelligence that looks very phallic,
Alex Dandino.
Not very, like, exactly the same.
Very hairy person. I definitely am not phallic looking.
I mean, different phalluses for different folks. Neither here nor there, guys. Before today's amazing gift to Griff, before we grease up, oil down the crevasses of my rippling physique, and layeth different incenses and myrrhs at my feet, before handing me the final gift.
Jesus Christ, just get to the business, my God.
After 4 times, you haven't bought into the bit. You're not yes-anding me, and it hurts my...
I'm not yes-anding this, because all it does is conflate a bigger problem we have.
Yes, I mean, this is the month to give me gifts, and all month I was just hoping for a little sincere yes-anding. But that's fine. It can't rain every day, as the crow once said.
Yeah, I can't yes-and every episode. Go ahead.
Yes, and neither here nor there. Guys, a little bit of business. It's official. Your friends here on the Film Alchemist podcast. We're friends. We bicker. It's how this goes. We're on Patreon. That's right. Patreon.com/Film Alchemist podcast is the best way to get more excellent content from the show here. Well, we think. We're very humble, though. And it's the best way to support the show. It's the best way to make the show exactly what you want it to be. Guys, you come in for as little as $1 a month, and we assure you every dollar and every patron helps us out a lot. We appreciate it very much, right? We got all kinds of content over there. We got a Patreon-exclusive library that you, the patrons, actually vote on every month, so you get to fill that up with movies you want to hear about. If you reach certain levels of patronage, you actually get to select the specific movies you want to hear. You can select commentaries that you want to hear. A lot of excellent opportunities to help us mold the show that you want. We have some mini-series beginning. Definitely one on Tales from the Crypt. We've got some other fun stuff that we'll be doing over there. So, guys, again, that's patreon.com/Film Alchemist podcast. It's the absolute best way to help the show. So, for those of you who support us, thank you. It means the world to us that so many of you have joined our little menagerie here, and it really does mean the world to us. And for those of you who are about to, we thank you in advance. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel over there. That's Film Alchemist. See video versions of these podcasts, along with other content we come up with from time to time. You can email the show, filmalchemistpod@gmail.com. You can find us on all the social media you're on. We're easy to get a hold of, and we love to hear from you guys. So just reach on out about anything, guys. We will be there. Also, something free, easy you can do that takes but a second. I know it seems silly, but it's really a great way to help out DIY self-made podcasts like ourselves, right? Make sure you leave the ratings and reviews wherever you find us. Quick 5-star, quick sentence or two about why you want us to burrow into your backyard and take over your parents, right? That's all we want. A couple sentences about how you would prefer Alex to yes and, right? Maybe it's like, well, it's 5 if Alex starts yes-anding. You know, I mean, I'm not going to write the review for you. That's not what we do here. We're just here to just spread the love, man, and that's what we hope you'll do for us as well. Right. Off of Alex's just grimacing visage over here. Just really won't give that final gift. Won't put a bow on the month.
Happy birthday, Griff.
Thanks, man. Thanks. So, as some of you guys know who follow the show, we were really excited to talk about Dogville, right? Lars von Trier's super art house movie, Dogville.
178-minute art house epic.
We were going for it. We were excited. We were lathered up.
I legitimately was excited to talk about Dogville with you. Like, it was going to be a really good
So fucking excited that for sure it's coming at some point, right? Problem is, it is not the easiest film to get our hands on, so we assumed a lot of you would also not have your hands on it. So we decided to do an audible, right? So Alex hit me up. You know, what are some of the most important movies from your childhood? And I laid out this little gem, right? It's a movie I had forgotten about for a long time ago, until I was stumbling through, some streaming, whatever, and I was like, oh my fucking God, that's that movie I used to love. I forgot the name of it. A little movie called Invaders from Mars, starring Karen Black. But this movie was a regular repeat VHS viewing at the Griffey house when we were kids, right? So when we were between like ages 4 and 6, this movie was ahead of Gremlins, ahead of Big Trouble Little China, ahead of Pumpkinhead, all the Tremors, all the classics that your 4 to 6-year-old should be watching back then. This one was in heavy rotation with us. We fucking loved this movie. And getting to go back to one of my first cinematic loves, right? This kind of lost Jim, as I see. A lot of people don't love this movie. I absolutely adore it. It was really fun today to get to travel back. Alex, I don't know if you had seen the film or not, but why don't you kick us off with your opening thoughts on Invaders from Mars?
Yeah, I mean, if you had told me this was a remake, I would not have thought. I would not have known that. But it's interesting to watch this in this month, and because this movie is just it's the perfect film to end this particular month on, because there's nothing other than probably Highlander. There's literally no other movie that could probably sum up the Griffey DNA, particularly for the way we do this pod, than Invaders from Mars. It has all these pieces that create the Griff you see or hear on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's a Tobe Hooper movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's creature featuring Stan Winston, John Dykstra.
So good. Yes.
The cast, though, is where you're seeing all these great clues from the life of Griff. Karen Black, of course.
Yes.
Our favorite Maja from Trilogy of Terror.
Trilogy of Terror. Another key Griffey developmental film.
And then the biggest key, and it's actually a cameo in the film. It's very quick. Bud Cort.
Hey!
He of Harold
There
and
you
Maude
go.
fame pops up like minute 59 and then goes out swinging.
Yeah, what happened if Harold didn't decide to just play music every day and live to the fullest?
You could posit this movie is the sequel to Harold and Maude, and like Harold did not end up living his life to the fullest.
Harold just took his mom's advice, got a solid ass job at SETI or whatever. He married that one actress lady from the end of the film, and then he's just like, is that an alien life form? I'm just going to run up and roll the dice. Like, that's how I live now. Yeah. He channeled a little inner Maude for a moment. Yeah, Bud Cort.
It was like the last vestige of Maude who got him killed. It was good. But yeah, also written by Dan O'Bannon. Like, all these things, all these pieces of this movie make up a Griffey, in my opinion. And it's a beautiful thing.
I didn't know it was written by Dan O'Bannon. That even makes more sense for me now.
The movie is celluloid beauty in its like purest form. It's 1986. Like, tell me a movie that does not encapsulate the things that Griffey loves more in this world, short of The Highlander. It's like the only thing that's missing is an Eternal.
Yeah. I was like, Big Trouble Little China. That's like another, like, one of those potpourri. Yeah. I just took my kids to see that in the theater. Like on the big screen, right? We have this historic art theater in southern Indiana that plays throwbacks, right? And I took them to see Big Trouble Little China, and just watching their like brains melt, like, holy shit, it's not a cartoon, but it's great. Because they get, this is the thing, kids today get a steady diet of blockbusters, right? So like my kids grew up with Harry Potter, Star Wars, Marvel, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World for us. Those are like big ones, right? So pretty much every 2 to 3 months, they're seeing like a big live action movie that are all essentially cartoons, right? Like Harry Potter, Marvel, DC, all of these, Star Wars, they kind of feel very cartoonish at this point, right? Mm-hmm. So my kids, they equate, you know, that kind of movie experience. To take them to see something like Big Trouble and see just this grittier, like, oh shit, like Jack Burton might get killed, right? Like that's a possibility. Like watching them try to process that. And I knew it had worked because at the end, Hunter died laughing when the one lady, the reporter, is like, aren't you going to kiss a goodbye, Jack? And he turns around and looks at Kim Cattrall and goes, nope. And Hunter went, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, holy shit, I just broke my kid, too.
That is your kid.
And that's what I mean. When I was younger, right, these are the kind of movies, like, I loved, like, this, Monster Squad, Goonies, right? There's 100 of these from the 80s where it's kids with parents that are just not around or have been usurped, fighting back against all of the establishment figures we had. And again, I think that's a very me thing, right? I don't like any authority figures. I don't really like any structures.
There's a lot of yeah. I think that's the other, like, besides the pedigree of the film, the content itself is a healthy mistrust of adults.
Yeah.
Which, even as adults, I still don't trust adults.
Okay, so you remember, you brought this up in Gremlins when I talked about how it was one of my 2 concussion movies. And how the dad is pretty much like a dingus, right? Like, almost started the end of the world, right?
Yes.
I think this was the first movie I fell in love with as a kid, where the movie told me, hey, grown-ups around you don't know shit. Like, it's just something that never crosses your mind. Like, grown-ups can be duplicitous to children and be full of shit. And I think that, really rocked me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've talked about our personal lives. You had a very different upbringing than I did, and I think I think that your mistrust of adults, particularly parental figures, comes from a lot of life experience. I think that being reflected in movies, and not only that, but your perception of how good movies are based on that theorem makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I am a big time mama's boy, right? But this movie, I was watching it again, and it's so nostalgic for me, right? But the opening of just a kid laying on a bench head to head with his father.
Yeah.
Watching, they're watching a meteor shower or whatever, and the mom comes out and she's like, all right, get in there. You guys got to go. And the dad just saying, nope. Like, I'm just going to chill with the kid. I was like, no fucking wonder, right? I was one of the kids, right, who, dad's like, I'll see you next weekend, and just like, never again, pretty much my whole life. So I think as a young lad, who only saw his dad every other weekend until he just didn't ever again, you can kind of see this like, oh, and then the crushing horror when you realize this ultra cool dad who I would have died for when I was a kid, right? He's cool. He comes in the room. He's kind of wisecracking. They had this like real square ass 80s Norman Rockwell thing going, right?
Right. Didn't like beat his ass when he like ran into the room. He like woke.
He's almost excited that his kid woke him up from the middle of the night to talk about spaceships, right? And that spaceship looked awesome, but I'm telling you, the devastation has never left me to this day. The following morning, and even as a young kid, you put it together right away like, oh, that's not dad anymore?
Yeah.
That scared the fuck out of me as a kid, because it's this ultra, like, I want that I'm seeing on screen.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so this kid had it, and it still can get taken away. So this was like a very personal and scary-ass experience.
Yeah, this is like personable and kind of, super traumatizing for you. Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's...
The dad just chugging Tic Tacs and coffee and... Ugh.
There's a lot of really fascinating, like... Again, I'm not saying, the movie is certain... the movie's not a 5-hour Dr. Zhivago fare. But... but here's the thing. Because of that, because it is a 90-minute... essential schlock fest from the 80s, there's a lot to mine, like in a way that like I don't think a lot of people expect to mine movies like this.
Right.
And I mean, like there's obviously a lot of great callbacks to like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes.
But that loss of self, like I can tell you, like even those of us who had like my dad was around, even that, it's still disturbing the next morning when you see a kid who's like, where's my parents? This sucks.
Right. Well, this movie's more aimed to you. Like the guy, like Pat Dandino's a world-class father, right? Like one of the great ones. Imagine if one morning he just came down and you're like, fuck. Like that scene when he's taking the kid out to the bus, right? After he like chugs the Tic Tac coffee. And he's like, hey, come on, let's go look over that hill together. And he reaches for the kid and the kid just goes, no thanks, and runs to the bus. And you're like, in that very brief window, the visual storytelling's really impactful. That this was the ultimate father-son duo. And then all of a sudden this kid's like repulsed. He just on a core level
he's
knows
on his own.
That something bad happened to dad. Yeah.
Like, and like, not only is he on his own, like actually after, like, because the kitchen beat is sort of played out as like, it's the unknowing, but then like it's trying to be kind of goofy. And it's, I think because like, if you like your parents at all, you're just like, that's still very sad. What really fucked with me was the bus thing where he's like trying to like, then I was like, ooh,
yeah. Now
it's like he knows there's this abduction level thing to it, and he like runs to the bus, But that's the saddest thing is, like, he gets on the bus to go to school, which is a place of, who knows? Like, you might have a great school experience, might have a terrible school experience. I can tell you, having a kid in preschool now is very weird, and I've had to do a lot of things as a parent that I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, I've called my parents at least on 2 occasions, like, did you have to do this? Like, yeah, it sucked. It was really annoying. I'm glad you're going through it now. But, like, being that kid at school, that otherness is terrifying. No matter who you are.
Right. And the first thing we see, right, like, I'll never forget, like, one of my first, like, big school troubles was we used to have story time, right, where we'd sit around, we'd read these dumbass stories, whatever, Babar, whatever. And
Yep.
I used to just be really bored, and I would play this game where I would straighten out a paper clip, and I would just put it in and out of electrical sockets. Well, one day it, like, fucking blew, and, like, all the power went out to the whole fucking school. And it was like, and, like, the paper clip fucking melted on the thing. And all the kids turned, and there was just me sitting there like this with smoke fucking pouring out of this outlet. And it was one of those, like, oh, fuck. Like, something I do can be very bad, right? Like, I'd gotten, like, normal kid mischief. But that was one of the first ones where you're like, oh, fuck. Like, you know, my teacher's like, you could have burned the whole school down. You could have killed these kids. Right? We had a kid in our class, this scary kid who was all burned up, right? He was in, like, a house fire or something. And she was, like, using him as, like, a cudgel against me. Like, you could have reburned Eric. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And it was like,
that's inappropriate.
It feels inappropriate. But, you know, Nurse Ratched in this movie's coming out throwing haymakers. Not only that, the kid throws a fucking frog and a scalpel at this girl. He's like, I'll defend her honor. Gets sliced by a scalpel, and she's like, you little cock.
He did it. Like that. And again, this is like this all goes into like this poor little boy David.
Yeah,
is having to deal with the fact that, like, so his dad's essentially gone, and then his fucking teacher sees one thing, decides like, oh well, there's no way anyone else was throwing frogs. It was definitely you little shit. Like, oh, you also cut yourself? Great. And, like, it's such a strange reaction, like, marching him down to the nurse's office. Like, I can't handle this anymore. Like, are you that bad of a teacher that you don't know how to find a Band-Aid? What's the matter with you?
It's
like,
wild. Just imagine one of our kids being in a class and then being like, well, the kids had scalpels and they got cut. Like, parents nowadays would be like, what the fuck? It's just.
Did you ever dissect a frog?
Oh, yeah. We dissected a bunch of shit. By the time I was old enough, we didn't have to do the baby pig or the cat. We could opt out of that. But I did a frog, a bird, and something else. But yeah.
We did.
There's no way they still do that in school, right?
We did the fetal pig, for sure. We did the fetal pig. We did the frog.
Yeah.
And then we also did I don't know if you did it. We did a worm.
Yeah.
That was weird.
We did like some little stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, you did little things, but like, like
a
frog,
cockroach,
fetal pig.
yeah.
But I don't think, if I remember correctly, though, I don't remember us having like real. There's some anti-murder scalpels we had. Like, you couldn't actually.
It was just a spork.
I don't remember what.
They're like, you're gonna have to really get in them guts.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I remember being like super disappointed though that there was not actual like metal on the table. Like, wait, like it was like some sort of plastic or something like that. It was just.
It was a post-Columbine scalpel, right? Our parents were very scared of us back then.
But yeah, then going to the nurse's office. Okay, Nurse Ratched is so fucking funny in this movie.
Also, Nurse Ratched is just, by her very nature, the gravity of her hateableness is such that they just are like, let's just make Karen Black like the very nice shoulder to cry on.
They also do this amazing job with Louise Fletcher, the Nurse Ratched, where they literally don't put her in makeup the entire movie. So like, you know, she looks bad from the start, and then when she gets got, you're like, oh, no change. You pretty much just look the same. It's terrible, except for there's a frog hanging out of your mouth.
The scene of her writing on the board, field trip at 2:30. We start to see it, right? She's kind of calling out names, right? Yeah. That scene of him walking in on her and her like gobbling that frog. They cut back to it like 3 different cutaways. That scared the dog shit out of me as a kid. Like, scared me to the bone. I was telling you before we started recording, it's one of those very weird things that every now and again I'll see something and have like a nightmare flash of that scene. Like really burned in my mind, scared the shit out of me. But again, it's this constant game, right, of the movie, which is this kid is seeing all this shit that immediately as a young viewer we're like, red fucking flag.
Yeah.
No one believes him. And it's kind of funny you brought up Body Snatchers, because I was watching it today. I was like, the reason that works so well, right? I just rewatched the 70s Body Snatcher. And I was like, that movie is phenomenal, right? And that movie is more about the taking of youth, right, than the other ones, right? You know, the 50s one is kind of communism. That one feels like a we're not invited to Woodstock movie. Like we're no longer cool. And so I was like, I understand why adults are. I was surprised how much legs they get out of that for a kid. Because as a kid, you don't have this kind of sense of loss of self as much. You always are in a position where you don't have authority.
I feel like this is a really specific thing for movies from the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, movies from the 80s did this better than any other era. Like, I think it's because, like, we were just getting into the what's happening to our kids conversation, especially in the 80s, because the 80s was, like, you know, this technological boom and a 24-hour news cycle.
Raised by TV shit, yeah.
Raised by TV kids, like latchkey kids, like parents were working. Like it wasn't one parent at work, one parent at home. Like everyone was working. So like the 80s were this amazing time where the conversation about like what are we doing to our kids became so much more prevalent, but we didn't have the technology or the social awareness that came up in the 90s combined with the technology, like the advent of the internet that happens, you know, from 1998 on till now. That's missing still. So like we're in this, and it's weird to say it this way, we're in this sort of sweet spot of I'm concerned about my kid. I have absolutely no recourse for how to fix it, so I'm just going to assume he's telling a lie.
It was the last great
or
days
I'm gonna assume I believe
of
him.
our parents leaving us alone, which now if you have kids just isn't an option. Like if your kid is seen in the wild without you, like it's World War III.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's... Yeah.
But see, this one even goes the extra length where it's like, yeah, that teacher's a bit of a bitch. Like, they're not really hiding it very well, and now she's a fucking Robotron bitch, right? She's animated that way. And you're like, all right, well, maybe the teacher was, maybe it's like, all right, this kid could be a little unruly, perhaps. Then he crawls into her green van, and you're like, oh no, this lady's like all the way fucked up. That like weird taxidermy van with the cutaways of the various animals, their faces caught in this fucking grimace of terror. When you taxidermy a creature, you get to choose the face. She's making all of these things look like they are terrified of her godlike face is the last thing they see. So this movie is constantly telling you the kid is right. The kid is right.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of funny, right? Because, again, it's just that the kids always had so much more power in the 80 movies, right? The 80s movies.
Yeah, totally.
And I always found that very liberating, right? The idea of seeing because I told you this story, right? I had that teacher, Mrs. Zufall. She had no chin, so her neck essentially ran like all the way, right?
Yeah, one of those chin shields.
Yeah, she had no chin and her mouth went meep, 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 meep. She looked like Meeper, right? Just like a fucking, or whatever is Beaker from fucking Muppets.
Beaker.
And just like this like fucking kind of balloonish cone head, right? If that makes any sense, and no neck. And
oh no, I have a pretty good visual
hated
for
me.
It, yeah.
I hated her. And I was just like, I would always think of this movie like, I bet that lady eats fucking frogs. Like, I just knew it, right? It also reminded me of that fucking scene in Monster Squad where they're like, ew, someone goes home and kisses her at night. Like, when I had teachers I hated, I had all of this language from movies that made me feel like it wasn't me, like I wasn't a broken kid. There's like a real empowering element to some of these movies. And again, I think that's always a powerful thing for kids, which I think we're kind of losing nowadays, right? That like spunky outsider story has a little bit been usurped as like they're the outsider who becomes the coolest kid and everyone.
Right.
In our movies, it's like we were the outsiders and we didn't care if we weren't getting in.
Right. Well, the story is less about like, yeah, now the co-op is because all the things that made us outsiders when we were younger is very in vogue and very cool.
Yeah.
Now. So now, like, the best example I'd have is like Stranger Things, which is this nostalgic look at being an outsider. But the nostalgia is those outsiders really had something. You guys were ignoring them.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else sucked. It was these people who weren't paying attention to everything else. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I get it. But, like, that's a really popular thing now.
Yeah.
The 80s, again, were, like, still in this amazing time period where you're like, kids can be outsiders and do their own thing, but not want to, like, it's not about, oh, I want to be popular. It's like, oh, I want to kiss a girl. Okay, cool. Who doesn't want to do that? I want to kiss someone. All right, great. I don't need to be a superhero. I just need to be me.
Yeah.
And if I'm put in, I think, like in this one, Invaders from Mars does it really well too, which is it's a normal kid being put in an extraordinary situation, and the adult, like, it's this thing of like the adult brain taking over. And so when you're watching a kid, you're rooting for this kid to be the smartest one in the room. That's what I like about movies like this.
Yeah, I mean, this movie even says you can be that kid and just get some FaceTime with the general. And the general's like smoking a stogie. He's like, Jesus Christ, did this kid just crack?
By the way, that's like one of my favorite that's like one of my favorite dolly shots I've ever seen. It's like the general like clipping his stogie.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like, yeah, of course. You're like, it's important to get this movement here.
Just to see the power dynamic shift to the boy.
Just that huge bowl of like stogie tips. You're like, good Lord, man, do you empty that thing?
But no, I love the power dynamic. It's also funny because I feel like you see this with the ship. Because to me, this was the part that like captured my imagination, right? This giant, awesome ship burrows in behind this guy's house, right? They have so many wonderful little gimmicks with this ship, right? I love the idea of the neck implants, which we see the one on the Karate Sergeant.
Did it remind you of From Beyond? That's what it reminded me of.
It gets a little okay. We'll the second part of introducing the ship is why so much fucking sex imagery in this movie? Because at first you're just like, oh
no, I just meant the implants. It had nothing to do with the actual sex imagery. Like we can get to that
that's
too,
a for sure like sex image.
That
shot.
straight up felt like From Beyond.
Well, exactly. From Beyond is literally just if semen became sentient and called itself art. That's what that movie is, right? Just buckets of jizz saying
just ropes upon
come find me
ropes.
at your local one screen and make sure to buy a popcorn. Prepare to be stuck to the floor, guy. And I don't know why it talks like that. But no, you're like the thing about seeing the people in orange swallowed up in the sand. That's a wonderful effect, right? He
awesome
walks
effect.
into this red cave, right?
Love
so cool. He walks into this red cave, right? And there's all these fucking doors with like membrane. It was really memorable ship, right? It kind of has this Giger like organic metal thing, also equally as sexy. And then you walk into this throne room, right? You see the teacher, you see these giant like kind of four-legged bullfrogs. Yeah, very ball-sacky. And then the supreme intelligence of Mars is just this gigantic dick.
This dick that comes out of a butthole
or a vagina.
No, it's a butthole because it even has the little prongs, like it has the little sensitive moments.
Has the little sphincter.
Has the little sphincter, absolutely.
Yeah,
and it's weird too because if anybody hasn't seen The Boys yet,
no, I haven't.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Oh,
and
no.
actually, once this airs, everyone will have seen it.
I'll have seen it by then. But no, I mean it's just. So the monsters look very cool, and especially at my age, I was like, "Holy shit, it's Krang!" So it just all worked for me,
straight
right?
up, like an awesome face on that thing, too.
Really fucking cool, but
like a really good, like pissed off alien face.
And I thought it was cool, man. The parents being remote controlled by antenna, the science fiction of it. I mean, it's more like a fantasy film than science fiction, right? It's like they take over your parents by magic. They're running around. It's not like a particularly like strategic battle between us and them. They want to keep us off Mars because some photographs. So they send one dick and 4 ball sacks to come down and start taking over all the centers of power, like middle school teachers that are fucking 55 years old.
I like the power dynamic of it being a lot of ball sacks to take everything out. Yeah.
And it's like, we really got to put it on the table, Martian men. What are we going to do? I know. Yeah. There's nothing the American man is more afraid of than tiny dicks.
Flop.
Yeah. They all have them. They don't want anyone to know, so they have big guns. But I was just like, yeah, it is just. And so I'm like, you guys didn't come to Earth with a fucking bullet stratagem. Neither here nor there. The melting laser was cool. The lightning bolts were cool. It was just fucking cool being in that ship, right? I do wonder why it was just so dick-centric. Especially for a kid movie, because I was watching this as a child. I was like, do you think this is something that they're like, oh, the adults are going to get it?
I mean, again, like, this is, again, I go back, like, the 80s were such a sweet spot because we weren't equipped to properly, like, assess, like, yes, that's definitely a huge throbbing cock.
Well, the supreme throbbing cock, I mean, it's unavoidable.
Yeah, but, like, we weren't but, like, the MPAA, like, adults in general weren't necessarily savvy to that because, like, we still were it's the 80s, like, we're just starting to get into this sort of, like the 60s were the sexual revolution, but the 80s were like this, all right, let's, like, actually talk about sex now with everybody. And, like,
I
really
feel
have
like
this
the 80s is
like,
when, like, yeah, the Wall Street bro thing took over.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of subtlety in the world.
It was, yeah, I mean, it was all, everyone's hopped up on cocaine, so that's...
So they were probably 80s. Just, like, on so much cocaine, they're like, oh, my God, an actually, like, rock-hard working penis. That's amazing.
It's like the 80s.
It was a little nostalgia.
Like, everyone's revolting against Ronald Reagan. Like, it's, like, a very big thing of, like, okay, we're done.
Well,
like,
I think this movie is like a, we believe in Ronald. Like, I think the 80s were a very, like, Ronald Reagan-friendly era, which is weird. Because I think, I think kids our age look back, and we were like, that's where it all started to go south. But I think at the time, he was, like, a lot of American people were really buying into that bullshit.
I mean, obviously now, hindsight's 2020, we're a very different country than we were in the 80s. But, like, I think there are a lot of white suburban adults who liked Ronald Reagan because of what he represented and how he operated. Like, again, it's just a very different, and I think that's a very different mentality, and I think that's what's great about David's experience.
I also forgot about the Dick Driller blade. Just another
amazing.
A lot of tunneling in this movie.
Like, that's David's experience of, like, losing his parents to this sort of like rhetoric of what it is. Like, you could also say that Invaders from Mars is a commentary on Reaganomics, the Reagan era, the whole 80s.
There's a little something about that, yeah. And in the middle of it, it's just this kid and this nurse like, what the fuck? Dude, you know a really weird part that I noticed like today was when they're doing their, like, I built a bomb. You know, we got to blow up this fucking spaceship. And the dad, who's fully under alien control, which I think they're all remote controlled and piloted by the Supreme Intelligence, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
So he says from one drone to another, an audience of just one, to himself says, hurry, or you might blow it. And that, like, actually shook me today. That Baba shook me, where I was like, is this alien just doing bits to himself? Is that the father still stuck in there? And he's like, I'm going to rise to the surface. You know, not like try to take my body back over, but, like, get a quip in.
Right.
Do you think that was the dad trying to emerge, or is this fucking Supreme Intelligence just like, oh, my God, if only someone were here to know how hilarious that was?
I think that
it was a strange beat. It kind of creeped me out.
I like to imagine it is the Supreme Intelligence giving it up for Oscar Wilde, like, wordplay that good. Like, no one else is going to.
You just go back to the lab. He's just, like, electrocuting the ball sacks for not laughing. Laugh, damn it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nurse Ratchet, like, coughs up a frog, gagging on it. Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he's an audience of one. It's very sad. That poor giant penis alien is just, it's unfair.
Yeah.
There is no
justice. It's hard to be supreme in so many areas.
It's hard to be supreme and hilarious.
Yeah, comedy's kind of a punching up genre when done well, and it's hard to do when you're the supreme of everything.
Yeah, when you're the supreme leader of a race of weird ballsack mutants, it's pretty much or Martians, sorry. It's pretty much, you know, your yucks are few and far between.
I love at the end too.
What is this bit?
The kid starts negotiating with the Supreme Intelligence, and I love this bit because it's such a perfect kid moment where he's like, you know what, I'll level with you. He's like, I just want my parents and the teacher or the nurse And he goes, I'll leave you, miss whatever. And the Supreme Intelligence is like, "Rrr!" Like offended that he only has the scrub ass humans that no one wants. But I love that video. He goes, I'll leave Mrs. Kvetch or whatever. And I thought that was so fucking funny.
Absolutely.
Because that one kind of fucked with me too. Like, I forgot about the Supreme Intelligence, just poor guy. Like, kind of taunting this fucking kid.
Yeah.
It really got me. There's also that fucking moment where the teacher's just smiling when we watch the penetration of the karate sergeant.
Ugh.
And that scene like really fucked me up too. Her creepy smile. Again, this is one of those movies where there's a lot of great visuals in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get something like Bud Cort going up to the aliens and he's just like, God, I can't wait to get out of here. You're like, all right, fucking dumbass, like whatever. A lot of the rest of this, even just the idea of this film, that the Supreme Intelligence of Mars is wasting his effort to have a showdown with this child is fucking scary and empowering all at once, right? And there's that great beat at the end when they're trying to run out, right? The ship's going to blow up. And his parents are like, they'll leave without us. And he just goes, I love you. I just can't go with you. And to this day, that line fucking breaks my heart because I think so many parents and kids have had that moment. Whatever it may be, right? Something where a kid's growing up and he's just like, I know you guys are kind of shit for brains too. You did the best you could, but like, I'm out here. Like, I'm out here now. And I just thought that was fucking lovely. Like, I really like
it. Is.
And also just that moment too, as they're running away and you see all the army shit. I was like, we've really just kind of lost this like middle budget. Like, this would be a big budget by a lot of standards, movies we get today. But I was like, it's just this sweet spot where there's just this incredible production value, right? Like, it's not like on an E.T. level, but it's not like a pale comparison of E.T., right? It's got some real fucking monsters, great sets. Like, even the military, when they were like lifting that giant light and getting ready to assault the sand pit, you're like, fuck yeah, dude, this is great. So it's just a movie that exists in this like perfect sweet spot of movies that meant the world to me. We got to talk about this ending, man.
We do.
A much fucking more intense ending than I remembered, right? Because we get our false little ditty here, right? They wake up, the parents are in their fucking, dipshit pajamas. They all have cups with their parental title on it.
Very sweet.
Yeah, just not cool. They're not cool, right?
I'll be honest.
I'll
be honest. I don't know any parents who had like mom and dad cups.
I don't even know people that wear pajamas. Like, I think pajamas have sailed. I think it's like yoga pants, t-shirts, or you sleep underwear or in the nude.
Sleep in the buff.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, look,
I don't think grown-ups should trust the buff, right?
My wife's pretty fashionable. She likes to do those pajamas sometimes.
But I mean, she's into fashion, right? The rest of us,
she's into fashion.
Yeah, we don't do fashion.
She's very into fashion.
I literally am just like, I'll wear boxers to protect my partner from whatever happens with me in the middle of the night.
My big thing is I have to have at least something on in case some shit goes down.
Literally.
Like either like some sort of sleep pants. I don't necessarily need a shirt.
No.
But like I do want to be, if something happens, because like, again, we've told this story before. Both of us have gotten several weapons over the years from friends. I do
just to be
have,
clear, because we're American podcast, not guns. We have like baseball
bats
and ninja weapons.
They're like baseball bats. I have swords, and now I have a lightsaber under my bed. So like my plan was always to be
the pussiest American male armory is the two of us.
Just imagine like the dumbest armory. Like so, my thing was always if someone wanted to break in the house, like if I run downstairs screaming, like waving a lightsaber, like no one wants to deal with like a crazy fat guy waving a lightsaber.
Well, I think actually having boxers on is a little scarier because I've had this thought too than like an invader because I was like, what would really fuck them up, right? You keep like some of those like fucking laundry clips by your bed.
Yep.
Clip your nips real quick. Unbutton your boxer, right? Drop the hog out of the dick hole and come running because that's just like 4 extra pieces.
Do you wear straight up boxers? Is that
or boxer briefs?
I was gonna say boxer briefs is like a good one, like to get your. If
you have big thighs, which I do, the elastic of the boxer brief doesn't last all that long, and so eventually they age into boxers. Like all of us, we go from a svelte boxer brief to just a saggy, decrepit boxer that doesn't have it anymore.
Very loose, a noose style boxers.
But I'm just saying, if they see me, they're like, "All right, chubby, nipple clamps." What's that robot shit on his tum-tum? That's where my diabetes stuff is. Is that his dick hanging out of a Darth Vader boxer? Right, and by that time, I'm on you with my pawn shop swords. So, like, then we're in a tussle.
Or now you're Mjolnir.
Fuck yeah, dude. For those of you on the YouTube, my dear friend sent me this fucking... I mean, this thing's heavy enough. You could kill someone with this. This is like a real fucking Thor hammer. But anywho, neither here nor there. I don't know what the fuck we were talking about. This ending, about to say, like, parents and what they sleep.
This ending, yeah.
So the movie does the false ending, right? It was all a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see the storm starts up again. Spaceship descending again. After we'd just seen it blow up, the parents were safe, whatever.
Right.
He runs into the parents' room. And in this almost like poltergeist lighting, a throwback to Tobe Hooper's oeuvre. This fucking thunderbolt lightning, and he's no. It's like Tom Atkins at the end of Halloween 3.
Yep.
What the fuck is happening here? Because that last image of just the kids screaming no is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I
thought they showed the kids looking like the Martians. The fact that they don't, or the parents, right? The fact that they don't show the fucking parents is such a scary thing to add into a children's film.
That I think is like the scarier thing is, I thought the parents maybe had turned into the ball
or you
sack
see the antenna again, like something like that. I had thought. I did not realize this. So what happens at the end here? Like, what do you think is going on? Was this a dream? Was this prophecy? Is this a time travel scenario?
No, I don't think it's any of those. Like, to me,
now that we've got that dumb shit out of the way.
Yeah, that's well, I mean, it's not dumb.
Just one more chance to yes and.
No, it's not that. I just don't. I mean, to be honest with you, like, I watched it like I watched that ending like just those like 2 minutes like 3 times. I'm like, what is he looking at? Like, I guess if I was gonna like, and again, this goes to what the movie is like. You project what you really think. So, like, I guess to me, the true fear would be that, it is real and my parents are, my parents are aliens now or something like that. My parents have morphed into aliens. My parents have been taken over by aliens. Anything. Like, the screaming of no feels like it's definitely something to do with perhaps the way. Yeah. I couldn't. I think it's just the taking over of the parents again. It's that it's real. That's what I'd say is the no. And the look on his face is the fear that all of this is actually real. Yeah. And it's happening.
Because I was thinking, I was like, what if he passed out, the parents, like, we saw their little thing short circuit, right? What if, they let it go, we defeated everything, and then all of a sudden they're coming back with reinforcements. He goes in the room and they're like, reactivate her. No. It's funny, I just read this book, Shock Value, right? And it was all about this kind of new school of horror filmmakers that came in and how they changed the genre, right? Wes Craven and Carpenter, right. Dan O'Bannon, a bunch of these guys. They had a whole chapter on De Palma. And I remember, I think it was Wes Craven that was like, after Carrie came out, like, De Palma stamped the genre that everyone had to have that second ending. Like, you just had to have it. It was a must-do after Carrie. And so I was like, I think that's cool that even this kid's movie is kind of running with that. But yeah, I don't know if it was the parents were duplicitous or if this ship was coming back for the, like, maybe he did take all of the, because that was the theory, right? Sounds like you took everything from your normal life and made a wild-ass childish fantasy. But then the movie clearly is telling us that's not the case by the end, right? The adventure we just saw, for it to have been a dream and not like a real thing, I think sucks. But I don't know, man. I think maybe there's a thing, like, you can't go, like, once I am no longer a child, I put away childish things, right?
I don't like the dream ending thing, but I feel like it's not a dream ending. Like, it all really happened, but
he passes out after the explosion. He wakes up. They kind of cleared everything. Go time.
Maybe they're okay. What if maybe all of that happens, the explosion. What if it's actually they're in the ship itself on the way back to Mars?
Oh, dude, so it's like a simulation room. He did fucking choose to go with his parents, or they caught him and dragged him along.
like he passes
Or like
out,
he turns
and
around and the fucking Supreme Dick just donkey punches his ass and he wakes up.
They try to like Captain America him at the end.
That is scary as fuck. That is super
terrifying.
Scary as fuck. And also the fact that they can control minds.
Child abduction and
him being penetrated by this fucking mind controlling thing. Oh, dude. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's probably right. I think that's where I go with it. Yeah.
So he goes in that room and it's just the fucking
shit.
The half-eaten teacher's been kind of regurgitated like John Voight, and she's just like all the way like running up and down the shaft of the Supreme Intelligence. And he's like, "No, you're wearing their PJs. Why their PJs?"
Maybe the dad is rocking in a chair in the corner like Sam Neill in Possession, like really uncomfortable.
The mother's just chugging milk. And you're just like, "Dear God, no, no." And he's like, "I wanted to be a man, but not like this, no." I think it's scarier that way. I actually love that idea. He never made it off the ship. Because it also plays on this idea that the grown-ups were just stoked to leave his ass behind. Like, really pumped to not care about him, right? Karen Black does like, no, stop pulling me. But she doesn't really give a fuck. I don't know, man. I just look at this movie and it's this wonderful bit of nostalgia for me. And I was like, there's some really aggressive storytelling aimed at younger kids, and I just will always miss that genre.
There is a true imprint of a Josh Griffey.
Yeah.
From Invaders from Mars. And I think it just goes to the acumen that movies like this had, which was when we're younger we see ourselves in all these characters. So why would you not make that character this person? Like, we all want to be adults, but we don't really want to be adults. Like, once you're an actual adult, we all want
our parents to wake us up and give us cocoa or whatever the fuck that was.
Right, whatever.
Most of us don't get that ending.
I'll say this: I also really like burnt bacon. I mean, that was like
that bothered me more than the Tic Tac.
It was a little too charred, but I do prefer a crispy bacon. I'll say
I'm with you. My kids just eat it like rubbery, like Amy will microwave it for them, and it drives me insane.
That's disgusting.
I agree.
Oh, that's terrible.
I've gone to baking, so you can make a ton of it at once. That's neither here nor there. But I think it's a really fun exercise to end this month on, particularly.
It's great. Yeah.
Go back to like your first 10 years of life and be like, what are the movies that really leapt out at you? Like the movies that really left a mark or a scar. The ones that you think, and I think if you track that journey back, right? My first like real love was Abbott and Costello, right? I found Pumpkinhead too young, and Trimmers, and this, and Big Trouble in Little China, and Gremlins, right? I used to stay up and watch Joe Bob's Monster Vision all the time as just a wee lad. And you go back and you look at these movies that really broke upon your young mind. And it's really easy to start to see the branching out of your taste, right? I think a lot of us like to think like, oh, we're very refined. We go out and we research
it all
and
goes
study.
back to,
and yeah.
You know that there's that documentary series Up, which is Michael Apted's series. Like if you see someone at 7 years old, you see them at 35, you see them at whatever. Like, so he catches up with these people every 7 years. I also think that has a lot to do with your movie watching tastes. Yeah. Like within the first 10 years of your life, there are these movies that just sort of imprint on you, and that fosters who and what you like for the rest of your life.
And you can branch out and have classier taste and intelligent taste and whatever, but I think at your core level, like the day I saw Big Trouble Little China or Invaders from Mars, seeds of that were in my mind, and I was always looking to plant more of those seeds. Like, that's just how it is.
100%.
So it was a great way to kneel before me finally, Alex, since you passed the test.
Was it a decent birthday for you, Greg?
It was. There was one. It kind of reminds me of the Christmas. My parents were divorced, right? And I wanted one thing. I asked for one fucking thing. And I was like, I've been a good boy. I'm a good boy by my nature. I want the pull string talking Steve Urkel doll. And that's all I want for Christmas, that one thing. Not an expensive toy. I wasn't asking for like a boombox or a Sega or whatever. I want that pull string Urkel. Family Matters is one of the seminal pieces of art in my life, right? Love that.
Sure.
So my mom messaged my dad, my derelict father, and he was like, of course I got it. Like, I know he wants it, and I got it. My mom's like, okay, I trust you. Big mistake. In hindsight, I was like, Mother, who I know listens to the show, so sorry for bringing this up again. But I was like, he'd already failed so many times. I don't know why this is the one. You're like, he'll get this right. My dad just didn't buy it, and it just was nowhere. So I woke up on Christmas morning and didn't have the only thing I wanted. And it was like there is no Santa. God is dead, right? Like, I was out. I was like a broken boy at that point in my life.
Right.
I don't know where we started with this. But the gifts, yes. So, yeah, it reminds me of that because you want it, yes, and the one gift I really wanted. But there were still festive decorations everywhere.
We yes-anded enough. I just didn't yes-and on your worship. That's all.
I mean, it's the most important kind of yes-anding, Alex. Anyone who runs a sex cult.
I don't believe in false idols.
Well, exactly. Just me. The real deal, baby. The real American deal.
Sorry, my friend. When you're co-hosting a pod with someone, it's not a matter of worship.
When you have your birthday month, I will be licking the ear. Like that fucking Brad Dourif character in Lord of the Rings.
We already did my birthday.
When's your birthday month? You're in August.
September, bud.
Psh, I got time to prepare my grovels. I'll come out with a scroll like, hear ye. The taint of Alex smells like Jimmy Jones. 'Tis a delight. Whatever.
Excuse me. Listen, here's the other thing, too. So we pre-record these. This is a really important thing, actually. So these are pre-recorded. It's June 7th right now. By the end of the month, we will have a deluge of just incredible Griffey Photoshop.
There have been some good ones already.
There's been 2 really good ones so far. I'm so excited to see where everything's going because, like...
What's the offer on the table?
What's that?
You're running a contest. What's the deal?
Right, yeah. So the contest is you got to Photoshop Griffey into a movie. Like, he has to be a character in the movie. Not necessarily. It can be also like Griffey warped into a movie or something like that. But kudos if you can put his face on like an actual character. Here's what I'm offering. You get to pick, if you win, you get to pick the August commentary, your movie, whatever you want. We can't say anything about it this time.
Damn.
You pick whatever you want.
A dangerous game.
And on me, I'll send you the movies. No problem.
Send you a movie gift card.
I'll send you a movie gift card for you and a loved one, and you'll go to the theater.
Hell yeah, dude! I like this.
That is my gift for Griff from all of you.
The submissions we have are great. We should put this at the top of the shows, probably. But that's fine.
Well, we can.
It's fine. I love it. It's been a wonderful month of groveling before Griff, greasing Griff.
Greasing the Griff. Yeah. That's actually what
There you go. I like it. So, yeah, it's been wonderful. Guys, we still have a double feature coming in June.
There was your yes. Yep.
It was as good as I hoped. The Breadwinner and Waltz with Bashir will be the double feature you'll hear on the main feed. July, we're returning to where we started. I think the pod is 4 years old in July, if I'm not mistaken. 4 years, 400-plus episodes in. It seems hard to believe. So we're going back and redoing for our 4th anniversary the very first curation we ever did, Animals Attack the Pod. So it's a wonderful lineup we have so far. Jaws, The Birds, awesome. Lake Placid, and Monkey Shine.
Jaws, the Monkey Shine.
So we have a great list of Animal Attack films. We have a really wonderful one selected for the commentary. And maybe for the July voting, we'll keep it animal-centric as well. So make sure you join the Patreon so you can have a say in that. Patreon.com/FilmAlchemistPod. As little as $1 a month, guys. It doesn't take much to get in and see if you like what we're working on. As you climb the ladder, make your voice heard over here on this show. Get some extra content, some extra chatting with us. It's wonderful. Our community's great. Thank you in advance. Patreon.com/FilmAlchemistPod. The email, filmalchemist@gmail.com. The YouTube Film Alchemist. Please, 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 please leave a rating and review wherever you find the show. I promise it will help. That's it for the month of Griff. That's not it for June. Stay tuned. Lots of good stuff to come. As always, guys, for the Film Alchemist, I'm Josh Griffey.
I'm Alex Dandino. Griffey's Fifi.
True. So true.
There's a yes and for you right there. That's the real one.
A yes and that just never can get unstuck from me.